Hello and welcome to another episode of the Magic Arena Run. Today it's the weekend. For, I've cleared up most of my schedule. Pretty much it's time for something light. So, as much as I'd like to do a competitive draft of Core 19 right away, not enough gems. Actually, how many gems does it require now? That's a good question. I'm pretty sure I don't have enough. Well, not too far actually. So I'm gonna do this one now. Anyway, the nice thing about competitive draft here is that quick drafts, if you do quite well, so I kind of want at least 600 gems. 2, 3. Whoa, that's my 5 wins. Okay, it's gonna take a while. I guess I can try to play 2 rounds of this, but I'm still also gonna try to figure out what I'm going to do next. So let's talk about it as we go through a Aether Revolt draft. And okay, first time I drafted, this is what I took. It was very interesting, but let's take something more reasonable. Scrapper Champion, 2/2 double strike. You can put a +1 counter, so basically it's possible to be a 3/3 double strike. We do have to take note, Shock is in this format, so this is soft. It is interesting though, because there isn't much good red here. We can try to cut black. Aether Poisoner, this is a very good deterrent. We can go into blue. Windkin Raiders, we can go into the improvised deck. We try to highly prioritize artifacts once we go into this one. In fact, that might be the better strategy. Green is kind of okay. We can go quite aggro in green here. White is looking quite weak for this pack. So I'm gonna actually go into blue. I'll take the blue uncommon. So we are gonna be in the lookout for artifacts once we pick this one. And maybe hopefully we can get this guy to wheel, or at least Hinterland Drake is okay. Filigree Caller is a good wheel too. Okay, so we have options now. Take in custody, tap, doesn't untap until next end step. Okay, maybe not so much. This is a decent build around. Cast an artifact spell, create a. So if we take this one, we're definitely going to be on the lookout for stuff like Renegade Map, a lot of cheap artifacts. It also helps with Windkin Raiders, so that's one thing to do. We have another rare here, Aid from the Cowl. So something dies, we can hope to hit something, and this is actually quite plausible. It's just a matter of how often can we trigger Revolt. We have to get super aggro, and this is also a 5 mana do nothing unless we have something like Renegade Map or a Sacrifice Outlet already. So this one's a bit risky. I'm more willing to build around efficient construction over Aid from the Cowl. At least it keeps us in one color. We can also be a bit greedy, I suppose. Not too sure which one I would pick. If I had picked red, I'd probably be stuck with Siege Modification. I'd definitely be going into black at that point. Green black looks like a good one. We can hedge our bets, I suppose. Let's take the green. It's a little bit more exciting. Okay, so we have options here. Unbridled Growth. This is one way to trigger Aid from the Cowl. We have Lifecrafter's Gift. Interesting. Again, we kind of need to decide which one we want to prioritize. Both of them kind of do the same thing. I'll take the Renegade Map at least. This one is, well, Unbridled Growth is great also. I'll take the Renegade Map. Ornithopter, Aether Herder. Well, definitely not taking Shipwreck Mori. So Aether Herder, this one's much better. At least it's a 3/3 for 4. Natural Obsolescence is a decent removal. Foundry Assembler is a good. It's an artifact, and we can improvise as well. Shame we didn't exactly go into black. There's plenty of removal going around. We'll take the Aether Herder here. So we're gonna start prioritizing artifacts at this point. We could take leave in the dust. This is a decent removal. I probably want to just take filigree crawler. Let's just take the filigree crawler. It's possible we don't even run blue, but that's changed. We got efficient construct. Okay, take note. This one is on casting artifacts, so generating a token with Aether Herder, that's not gonna work. So we're really gonna be on the lookout for all these cheap ones. I'll take efficient construction this time, but take note. We now just took two enchantments that don't do anything unless we can work around it. So we have to be very careful. Shipwreck Mori. Probably just take another crawler. I'm hoping to get an uncolor implement. Like this one. This one's actually perfect. Cost 3, but if we sacrifice it, we draw a card. If we use its ability, we draw a card as well. And I guess this one's perfect. Taking into custody is okay too, I guess. We'll just take the implement. We're gonna... okay, we got Dispersal Technician. Wait, is this graveyard? Yeah. So, not a dice trigger. I will still take Dispersal Technician. Oh, this is a dice trigger. Slight non-bow, but we could use some more creatures. Okay, now we'll take the take into custody. Negate, sure. Aegis Automaton. Yeah, I guess we'll take that. Wrangle's annoying, but we'll take the Aegis. We're probably not gonna run it. This one's quite good. That's just doesn't read. Oh, we actually got a third one. And shame. Quicksmith Rebel. This one's a very nice one. Artifact on turn 3, Quicksmith Rebel turn 4. Probably remove something. You've already 2 for 1 at least. Maybe. So let's see what our other options are. Leave in the dust. Probably a decent option. Not much in the green end. We could take Silkweaver Elite. It's a cheap creature. Hopefully we can get more stuff like Renegades maps and implements. Universal Solvent's also a cheap one we can use mostly for improvise, and it triggers Revolt much later. This is an okay, interesting conundrum. I'm a little bit down on Silkweaver Elite. It's never done me well back in the day. I'll take Universal Solvent. Okay, another efficient construction, but we'll probably take Ice Over. This is a good removals. This is another removal spell on our end. So take note, our removal spells, Dispersal Technician and Universal Solvent. So not much in the way of removal at all. So definitely taking Ice Over here. Shame, I kind of wanted another Aether Herder. Tezzeret's Touch is a good one. We could probably aim to splash it. We do have a Renegade map, but we're not seeing any more. Peace Walker, Colossus. Kind of want another Ice Over, I guess. Let's see. First, let's dump this in the sideboard. Let's dump the Aegis in the sideboard. Tezzeret's Touch is a nice thing to splash into, I guess. But, okay, if we don't splash, we get Illusionist Stratagem. Exile, Bounce Back. There are a good number of enchantment-based removal. Last time I played this format, we got a ton of Caught in the Light. I guess I can just take another Ice Over. Okay, now let's see what we got. Okay, we can take this implement. This one's a cheap one. We're not gonna activate it that much. Let's do creature count check also first. Nothing on 1, nothing on 2, nothing on 3. We actually need to start getting our creatures are at 4 and 5, and we only got 6 creatures right now. We probably need to reprioritize. So we're definitely not taking this. I kind of have no choice. You're now gonna have to take Silkweaver Elite. And we're taking Watchful Automaton here. So we're going green-blue. Okay, we'll take Unbridled Growth only because there's really not much of anything else. I could take Welder, but this one's kind of more useful. And we can kind of draw our way out of this mess. Hope of Garapur. Sacrifice. It is a creature. It is a Revolt trigger. It is an improvised target. It is rare. Silkweaver Elite. Okay, so we can take another Dispersal Yeah, we're not in the energy deck, so pretty much, yeah, we'll take another dispersal technician. We'll also take leave in the dust. So we're kinda in a control method, but we have no good payoffs for aid from the cowl. So that is probably gonna, so that's gonna be a problem. Do I want another efficient construction? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 artifacts. One is probably enough. I could just take consulate turret. Green and blue are energy colors for Kaladesh. We can take this and hope to bank it. Yeah, I kind of don't want to run the second one. So we'll take that. Filigree Crawler number 4. Take into... Yeah, we'll take another take into custody. We'll probably sideboard some of those. Hate the decommission. Aether Inspector mate. Okay. Greed time. Do I take Sahili Rai? I do have 2 ways to splash for it. I was thinking about splashing for Tezret's Touch. I guess I could splash for this one. Let's see what we do here. You can deal damage to an opponent in Scry. We can create a copy of an artifact. It gets exiled, so it doesn't trigger. No death triggers here. What we copy? Renegade map? No. Consulate turret. One energy? No. Filigree Crawler? Maybe, but they'll probably just let it die. We don't have any decent top end creatures. Kind of want Filigree Familiar in that case. But I'm just gonna be greedy. Also, we only have 1 copy. Why not?
If it's a challenge you want, then a challenge you'll get.
So Nature's Way, another form of removal, but we need more creatures, so we're gonna take the Wild Wanderer. We could take the Workshop Assistant. It's cheaper. No, I'll take the Wild Wanderer for now. Experimental Aviator. Okay, this one's quite good, but we don't have any blink. We can take Pima Outrider. Hunt the Weaks. We're actually passing up a lot of removal, which is bad, but let's see. Just creature count check. Nothing in 1, nothing in 2. We got 1, 2, 3. 3 creatures on 3. Sideboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we get 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 creatures. We need more creatures. It's gonna be... It's either Experimental Aviator or Pima Outrider. Problem is we don't have any way to pump the tokens either. And right now the improvised plan is really only just for Winkin Raiders, so you're gonna have to go Pima Outrider in this case. Sage of Shalai's Claim. Eager Construct. It is a 2-drop. We are hurting for these. Alternately, we can take a Malfunction. That is another removal. Okay, removal check. Take into custody. Okay, we have 1, 2. I'm gonna side out the negate. So 1, 2. Decommission. 3, sort of. 4, sort of. A lot of these are conditional. Okay, then this is just temporary. So we could really use some more removal. I guess Malfunction's okay. But I really should just take Eager Construct first. Vidalcan Blade Master's nice. High Spark Artisan contributes to the... We'll take the... Okay, now we're gonna do a color check. So, a lot of blue. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're more blue than green, so which is a shame because we kind of want to. So we'll aim for the blue. We'll take Vidalcan Blade Master. This leaves us off on flyers, but it is a quick draft. Can't really do much about it. Okay, this one's very hard to use. Not easy. I wouldn't say very hard to use. You just drop it. The thing is, it benefits everybody. So accidentally benefiting your opponent is really bad with this one. So Girapur Orrery is out. Tezret's Ambition, I guess, is okay. Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot. This is a way to trigger Revolt. We gain some life. The energy, we're not into it. We're probably not gonna run Consulate Turret. And this only hits players or planeswalkers. I'm more likely to take Attune with Aether. Now we need another creature. Yeah, Nimble Innovator's okay. So Janjeet Sentry, sure. Aether trade wins. We could make this work, but we are hurting for creatures. I'm gonna take the Sentry. Okay. If I were to take one of these puzzle knots, I would most likely take the blue one over the green one. We're more blue, and Scry 2 is more useful. That said, okay, I really want to take another Nimble Innovator. We really don't have much in the way of payoffs here, so we are payoff light here. Let's select for inspection. If I take select for inspection, I'm gonna drop the take into custodies. Malfunction. Okay, at least we got one copy of that. Let's sideboard that. So we kind of forced our way through this, so we got a lot of cards to cut here. So yeah, we definitely need one mountain. We are 10-6, that sounds right. So let's drop the take into custody. We got a lot of ones. I'm still gonna keep this though. Eager Construct, Implement, sure. Sentry, Blade Master, Automaton. Silkweaver's a bit soft for us. We are at 8. The problems are non-creatures. We need to cut those, and we cut at least 2 creatures as well. So let's look at our non-creatures first. We got Ice Overs, quite cheap, but Leaving the Dust is better. Malfunction is better. Efficient Construction. So we need to do an artifact check. We're probably going to cut one Filigree Familiar and the Consulate Turret. So we need to see whether Aid from the Cowl is worth it or Efficient Construction is worth it. I don't think both of them are worth it. What are we more likely to cast? We are more likely to cast 4 drops. We could afford to use up use 1 space for aid. Oh, this is actually an interesting function. You can actually see what exactly these cards are. So we got 6+ in Windkin. Attune, Renegade set, select. Yeah, we're probably a bit softer. Too many 1 drops. Ice Over, Eager Construct, Implement Saheeli Rai. So I really do not want to cut the 3 drops. We probably will start cutting 4 drops. So let's take a look. How many artifacts will we have after we cut another Filigree Crawler? That also brings us down to 16 creatures. We couldn't afford to cut 1 more, but let's leave that for now. So we need to make 6 more cuts. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 artifacts. Meanwhile, we got 1, 2, 3-ish, 4. This one doesn't really count. Okay, we got 4 ways to trigger Revolt on our own. We got multiple if we have enough creatures, as long as we can probably crash some of them or crash even one at a time to hopefully trigger Aid from the Cowl. I'm going to be a bit greedy and drop the Efficient Construction. So that leaves us with 5 more cuts. So keeping the Ice Overs, keeping that. Attune with Aether. This one helps us get Saheeli Rai, but we are not in a real hurry to get Saheeli Rai. I guess we can drop a tune with Aether. We're not exactly an energy deck. We can drop the Janjit Sentry, although I'm a bit low to do that. Okay, 15 is the bare minimum of creatures. We need to start dropping non-creatures at this point. So 3 more cuts. This one's a bit tough. We're keeping Aid, so that means we're dropping either Select, which helps us dig. Universal Solvent. It is a way to answer stuff, but it does take a while. Leave in the Dust. It's a bounce spell with a draw card. Basically, it's blink of an eye, kicker always on, and it's 1 blue mat, and it's easier to cast. Malfunction. It's also another form of removal. One way we could do is we can actually just cut 1 Dispersal Technician. Still have to cut 2 more spells. I'm probably gonna just drop the Select for Inspection and need a Renegade map, need the I'm really low to cut Universal Solvent. Okay, so I'm still deciding which one of these two, because our 4 end is way too high. I could just cut another creature, but we're cutting it really close. We're now down to 14 and 9. Probably just drop the... Actually, I'm gonna just drop the Implement. That one just digs more, but that's about it. Yeah, that solves it for us. So our mana is a little bit more balanced. 8 and 8 with 1. We pretty much have nothing to cut in green. I could sub the Silk Weaver Elites, but what am I gonna put in? And these are our cheap creatures. One thing to note in draft is we kind of want to... The very latest we want to start dropping something is on turn 3. If we're waiting till we drop on turn 4, unless our opponent is pure control as well, or really has a problem with their mana, we're just playing catch up at this point. We're more likely to just cast these spells to get out of trouble. Yeah, this is probably the build we're gonna go for. Average is 3.3. That's not so bad. So, but what will I put? I'm definitely not putting. Okay, so we're kind of a green blue. So okay, we'll just name it the Simic Revolt. It's kind of the way we're going. It's a shame I could not fit both Efficient Construction and Aid from the Cowl. There are some spells that produce tokens, but they're mostly in white. We didn't end up that way, so this is what our deck's gonna look like. We're gonna proceed to gameplay shortly. Hopefully we do a little bit well. At least a few hundred gems would be nice. So yeah, we're gonna cash this deck in. Not quite Simic Revolt. Let's see if we can still edit that. Well, I guess it's really just Simic Revolt. The one red is a bit of a lie. We never really drafted any red cards, did we? Yeah, it's Simic Revolt. Don't mind the red mana symbol. Anyway, so that's it for this. That's it for the draft portion. We're gonna proceed to gameplay in a short while. So if you like what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and hope to see you guys soon. Thank you very much for watching.